Welcome back. I'm speaking with former Toronto mayoral candidate, author, and talk radio show host, Anthony Furey. Anthony, Mayor Chow's been in power for a year. Let's review her first year. Give us your highs and your lows.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't think it's been that great of a year, in that all of the issues that were plaguing Toronto a year ago, they've unfortunately worsened. Nothing would make me happier than to say, well, you know what? It hasn't turned out so bad. And Toronto is moving again in terms of gridlock, that the streets are safer for whatever reason, that the budget, it's doing okay. Unfortunately, that's not the case. They've all gone in the opposite direction. Olivia Chow tried to push forward a double-digit tax increase, not throughout her term, in one single year, 10.5%, because voices like myself and others spoke out. She brought it down to 9.5%. That is still way too high during this period, and really any period. And I think we're going to be stuck with 10% tax increases throughout the rest of her term, too. That's a big problem. What we need is responsible budgetary management, managing City Hall and its processes and employees and line items much better. When it comes to crime, oh man, things have worsened. The drug crisis, which I was really passionate about, getting those free drugs off the streets, dealing with the fentanyl crisis, helping those poor persons dealing with addictions get back to their lives and getting them into treatment. Amazing stuff like Alberta Premier Danielle Smith's doing. Unfortunately, it's only getting worse. Shortly after the mayoral election, we had the tragic story of a mother of two small children in the Leslieville neighborhood dying in cross gunfire between drug dealers in front of a drug injection site. I don't use that safe injection site euphemism. I don't use that term at all. Because it's clearly just the opposite. We see it's not safe, and we need to turn things around. When it comes to gridlock, Jocelyn, it's just heartbreaking that literally people who were friends who lived on opposite ends of Toronto, they don't hang out anymore because they can't get to each other. If you want to go have a coffee, it's not a 45-minute coffee visit. It's like 3.5 hours because of the time it takes to get from point to point. Sure, that's friends hanging out having a coffee, but also when you talk about businesses providing services to go and do an HVAC repair, you can call someone and say, hey, I need my air conditioning redone. And they say, too bad, I'm not coming out there. And you're like, I was going to pay this guy good money, but he won't even come do the job because of these traffic and congestion issues, which means when businesses are thinking of investing here, they're taking a pass on it all. And also, we should not be punished for taking our kids to a hockey game, being told we're, climate criminals or what have you, just because we're regular middle-class people. And yet City Hall is not alleviating congestion. Instead, they are so fixated on ramming bike lanes on every major street in Toronto. There are plans to roll it out everywhere. I'm a cyclist myself, Jocelyn. I don't have a problem with biking, but what I have a problem with is thinking that we need to take vehicle lanes off of major streets and replacing them with bike lanes. And this is a very backwards ideology, and it's an ideology. There's no other way about it because it doesn't make common sense. It doesn't add up. That's a major problem we're facing as well. So it's been a rough first year, and unfortunately it sees no sign of getting better under the current leadership.
Absolutely. You try to get your products to market around the city of Toronto. It's just a nightmare, let alone deciding to go down and have dinner downtown. Now, many activists have realized that they can get legislation passed at the local government level that they could not get passed at the provincial or federal level. A case in point is banning natural gas. How does this happen, and what effect is it going to have on both residents and business? And we got about a minute and a half left.
Banning natural gas will make life less affordable for regular people. It's really going to cause major issues for businesses, for individuals. And you're so right, Jocelyn, that this is sort of a sleeper campaign. It's not being played out in the national media. Activists go to city council and smaller communities that don't really have coverage of what goes on there, and they're lobbying aggressively. They're disconnected from reality, though. Natural gas is one of the cleaner methods to go out there and grow our economy, provide opportunities for people, and to allow so much economic flourishing. There are a lot of countries around the world who still need access to clean energy, and they don't have it right now. And it's a health hazard, and it's an inability for them to increase their GDP and get out of poverty. This is one of the great wonders of the 20th century, why we're able to live the way we live. So it's a very dangerous agenda that we're seeing play out, the plan to ban natural gas, and it doesn't add up. The good news is I think people's appetite for this climate extremism is on the wane, and we're going to see these people pushed to the side very soon, as should happen.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't afford a complete ban of natural gas, not only for residents, but also for our businesses. So we're going to take a quick break and we're going to pick it up at the other side and talk about big cities across North America and the challenge that they face. We'll be right back on Canadian Innovators.